explaining power flow. Here, for an example, I have a unipolar transmission, 10-speed. Got your high and low for your auxiliary. So I'm gonna break it down, explain the power flow, and how it works. You have your counter shaft, or you have your input shaft here. You get inside of your main box. You have your main gear, main shaft gear, your counter shafts. Yeah, and this is a dual counter shaft. So what that does is it allows the torque to be split between the two counter shafts, taking most of the weight off the main shaft, and helps, yeah, something like that. Anyways, so you got your input shaft, that's into your engine. Your input shaft's connected to your input drive gear. This gear is always going to be turning. This is what turns your counter shaft gears. Unless it's one-to-one, it's not gonna. It's always going to be going through your counter shaft. So you have your engine putting power through to your transmission. This is a drive gear. It's going to drive this gear. So this is a driven gear, and it's going to drive out to your main shaft gears. On your main shaft, you have first gear, second gear, third gear. Skip over to fourth gear, which is your direct drive, and then back to your fifth, which is your overdrive gear. Now the way you can tell that in this transmission is that this gear right here, which would normally be the fourth, is smaller than the one that would normally be the fifth. So that tells you you have an overdrive option. So you have power coming in, goes through here, drive gear to driven gear. It's going to rotate. This is going to become a drive gear because the shift bar housing up here with your shift forks hooks onto your sliding clutches and shifts one at a time. So when it's ready to shift into first, shift bar housing, you make that shift up in your shift box. Alright, you got locked in. See how I'm locked in here? Now I'm in first gear. So it goes drive, driven gear, and now my power is being put out towards the back here throughout the auxiliary. So like any other gear, if we wanted to go in second, you make the shift, it pops the clutch out, slides the second clutch in for your second gear position right here, and now you're in second gear. It's a little harder to turn, but now your power flow goes from here to your counter shaft, back out to your gear, back up to the second gear. And you want to go third, you pop it out, pop into third, or pop into third. Third does it the same, goes from here out to here, back out. And you go to fourth, comes over to here, which is your direct drive, so it just splines straight in. So instead of going through the counter shaft gears, it goes straight out through the back, straight out through the auxiliary. So now let's talk about the auxiliary. You have the auxiliary over here. If you go out through the back, the power flow does all that. You have the back end gear. This gear is hooked onto your main shaft gear, main bearing. That's when it goes out through your auxiliary. So up here's your auxiliary. Here's your auxiliary. That gear that I just showed you inside the main box at the back end where the auxiliary hooks up goes into here. So when it's one-to-one, the auxiliary, it comes all the way through, and that gear engages here due to this shift fork here on our auxiliary, which tells us whether or not to go high to low. If it's in high, it's always going to be direct, so that gear attaches here, and power is constantly going straight out, straight to the back. Now if I wanted to switch into low, I select that on my shift lever, and my shift fork up here moves back into low, and now my power, instead of going straight through, it's going to be split to my low gears. My low gears are going to